green juice.
Sound like the green monster. Speaking of monsters.
That's a good segue.
Yoga trolls.
Yoga trolls.
And I know it's kind of a funny thing to say, because I mean everyone knows there's like YouTube trolls and online trolls, but there is now such a thing as yoga trolls. It's everywhere.
Basically anywhere anyone wants to express anything that they experience or what yoga might be to them, there's this whole classification of people that have turned it into some kind of like power struggle, like a yoga justice warrior kind of thing. We get our fair share of it.
But we see others as well getting their fair share of it, and it's just, yeah, we just have to address it. We've had enough.
So we wanted to get this out of the way so we could get back to the discussion at hand. But this video was sponsored by Teamy.
This is actually what we're drinking today. As you see, we have these little green cocktails. But this is the Teamy Superfood Blend. It's like matcha, spirulina, wheatgrass.
Oh my god, I was
and
reading
a
it.
bunch of other ones.
There's like 14 or 16 different green superfoods in here. There's even a thing called rocket leaf. What's rocket leaf?
I don't know.
I gotta look
That's
that one
something
up.
I actually have never heard of. But it's great because it allows you to take in all your vitamins and nutrients, especially when you're on the go or when you're just short on time and don't have enough time to eat a healthy, balanced meal, especially when you're traveling. And remember at the airport?
Oh my god.
It was terrible.
Airports, can you get your act together, please? Like, this is insane. People want healthy food, but you keep it from us, and then all these people end up buying crappy food. We end up not buying any food, and if you just give us an option, I promise we'll buy it. But
anyway, so when we were traveling, we actually were drinking Teamy Superfood Blend just because we needed that boost in energy, but also just healthy digestion and keeping our immune system strong.
And this is great because it checks all the boxes. There's no fillers, and it's GMO free, and it's vegan, and all the things that we look for in a product. So if that's the kind of stuff that you're interested in, Teamy actually put together a really great offer for you guys. And if you go down in the description of this video, you can click the link and you can take advantage of it for a limited time, and you can try out some of these products for yourself.
Yeah, and just see how your body responds to it, and you know, see what you can include into your daily life to allow your body to thrive in the most beautiful way. Yoga trolls. We just have to address it. We've had enough. The way we began our yoga journey, I think, is very similar to how many people begin their yoga journey. For us, it was rehabilitation. We're both injured at different times in our lives, and we stepped onto the mat, and we just started doing these sequences of postures and asanas and stretches, and learning to just find this patience with ourselves, especially when we were recovering from injuries, because that was a very frustrating time to get on the mat.
So it's very surface level, as it is for almost for everyone who begins doing yoga. It's just literally asanas on the mat and movement. But like through our experience with it, because it was tied to so much frustration with our bodies rehabilitating, I think very quickly there became a much deeper awareness of our own minds.
It's a feeling too. Like, I think it's something that people can tell you and you could read in books, but it's only when you step onto the mat and you start to experience it for yourself. And it doesn't happen right away, right? It's like peeling an onion, you know what I mean? You're taking little layers off and layers off until you reach something like an aha moment where you're like, wow, like there is this deeper connection of the energy that I am, that is outside of my body, that, you know, because we're not our physical forms, we're the energies manifested in physical forms as human beings. And so that is what yoga began to slowly show us.
That compassion and that stillness and that kindness and that patience that we were challenging ourselves to try to achieve and to slowly sort of creep towards, well, that started to reflect in our everyday life when you get off the mat.
Started with each other, and then I think slowly we started seeing this unification of how we felt inside. We started seeing in the external world, and through that we began to cultivate that compassion and kindness towards more people, towards other sentient beings, towards our planet, our environment. And it was just these little tiny baby steps that began to come towards us.
We found a oneness in ourself, which then it revealed the oneness of everything.
Yeah.
This universal all. And, you know, 15 years ago or 10 years ago, if we had heard ourselves talking about a universal all,
You're like, what?
I think we'd think we were losing our minds. But once you start to understand that this whole thing is just energy, and on the mat is where we learned that, then you take that off the mat. And all of a sudden, yoga no longer is just that surface level thing we started with, which was stretches and asanas and flows and rehabilitation. And it almost sort of rehabilitated our perspective of our place and our life in this whole crazy universal experience.
But what really makes us frustrated is the fact that now certain people come into this space and they say, well, they look at a specific tradition of yoga, or they believe that they can now classify and divide yoga into these little tiny bubbles, like hatha yoga, ashtanga yoga. Well, this teacher, my guru, your guru, my guru is better than your guru.
Or this, you have to do this in this order, you have to do this way. And they're trying to dogmatize something that's about union. And it's about, like, it honestly, like, yoga is just about finding the union with yourself and the union with everyone else. But now these trolls come in and they try to break it up, just like they do it. Like, it's what humans do worse. Like, we come into wonderful things and then we try to tell everyone how they're doing it wrong, because it makes the person doing the telling feel so much more powerful.
Justify that they're doing it right.
Right? And it's crazy, and it's not frustrating, it's almost sad.
Well, because I think it creates a divide. You know what I mean? Like, we have enough things in the world that create division between us as human beings. So the last thing we need is for people to come in and start dividing each other in an experience which is supposed to connect all of us. You know, yoga, it's an experience of unity. We are seeing something within ourselves and within each other that is greater than the physical form, and everything that we say, Namaste, right? Like, my soul honors your soul, all of these things, which is beautiful. But then, you know, now we come in and we divide, and then people feel like they don't belong in certain styles, or there's like these little cliques that start to happen.
How many people have we talked to that have said they don't even feel comfortable to go to local yoga studios?
Yeah, and that they start with online because they're too intimidated to walk into a studio and be judged by people. And if you think about it, the olden tradition of yoga, the physical yoga practice, was just a set of postures that was done to prepare the body for meditation. So it's preparing the mind and the body to be able to sit in stillness and silence for a very extended period of time.
That was actually the most mind-blowing thing that I had no idea about when I went to my first yoga teacher training. When the teachers explained to all of us as students from the West, who assume that yoga is just, you know, postures and flows, and can you stand on your head, and can you do this pose and that pose, but it has nothing to do with that, because traditionally yoga was like way down the line on the limbs, and it's just a very small piece of a long process to explore the union of the universe, of samadhi, to become closer with the great energy that is everything and is inside all of us and everything throughout all of time and through all of space.
I believe that there shouldn't be this divide and cliquiness and judgment between different styles of yoga, or different teachers, or different yoga schools. I think we should all look at it as just a different path to get to the same destination.
And so because of this traditional side of it, when Julianne and I were discussing this and making this video, we actually put together a little sort of introduction to the tradition of yoga.
But also just the different aspects of what yoga is, and the different pranayamas and the different styles, just to understand the overall picture of yoga.
So it's a free ebook that we're, you know, if you go down into the description, or you go to our website, we'll add a link, and you can go and you can download it for free. And take what you want from it.
Yeah, you can learn a little bit about us, of how we see yoga, but possibly also just learn about
the history,
or a little bit of, you know, techniques or information that may help you within your own journey.
So to take it back to the yoga troll topic, maybe it's a trigger, and maybe it's something that we still have a lot of work to get through.
I think it still stings, and honestly, we've obviously had our fair share of it. And especially since beginning our channel, because I feel like through our own growth, our own channel evolving, like, I don't know, I feel like when we look back to our first videos we've ever created, that was like when we first stepped on the mat. You know, we went through our own personal exploration and evolution in a public view, so we had to, you know, we took enough heat a lot of times, and we still do.
Oh yeah.
For, you know, from these yoga trolls saying, well, that's not yoga, or this is yoga, that's not yoga. And we deal with it and we accept it for what it is, because, you know, honestly, this is our path and this is our journey, and we're proud of it. You know, sometimes I look at those old videos and to be honest,
It's cringe.
I feel embarrassed. I'm like,
It's cringy.
I want to delete it, but you know, a lot of people still use it and like, well, people still get value out of it. But to be honest, like I don't feel proud of those videos because who I was at that time doesn't reflect who I am now.
It's been such a long evolution. We had no idea. We were clueless what yoga would mean to us eventually. And I think that's what's so important to us for this conversation and why we wanted to make this video, is because we feel like the more classes you can go to, the more teachers you can experience, the more things you read and the ways that you evolve, the more you deepen your journey. And if those trolls are taking the knees out of any of you or anyone out there to make you feel like you're not good enough, you're not doing it right, like you shouldn't think that you should be practicing it because you're not, you're not schooled or educated enough, or just making you feel uncomfortable in any way, it's not fucking fair. Because they have no right to take that from you, and they had no right to try to take it from us. And it's been something that it's been a long, hard journey for us to work on. We've worked relentlessly on ourselves. And we
continue to work with
constantly.
It as well, and it continues to be a personal exploration. And we're saying this because I truly believe that we're just at the very surface of the deeper exploration. We've just begun our journey. And what's beautiful is that we're able to share our journey with others, and maybe there's something that you can take away from it. And the other thing that I think is beautiful is that we need to stop believing that there's only one way to do one thing, right? So there's one way of doing a traditional yoga and that's how you got to do it. I think, like we said earlier, yoga is your personal exploration of your body and your mind. And whatever way you have to do it, you gotta do it and you gotta feel it. So for some people it is following a traditional path of yoga, and that's beautiful. For others, it might be doing a very creative lyrical flow. Maybe other people need to work out and just really do like a heavy Pilates infused yoga practice. Or maybe for some it could just be dancing and feeling the energy. Whatever way, whatever path you have to take, it'll still lead you to that same destination, which is a deeper understanding of yourself and your unity of your body and your mind.
All of this we believe is part of the journey, because the journey is life. And the journey is raising your vibration, becoming a higher vibrational being, and then figuring out how to share that and express that with the world. And no one has the right to take that away from you.
No, just remember, your yoga experience, it is your personal experience, and all you can do is just continue to grow that, to evolve that. And then once you feel like you have found something within you that is worth sharing with others that will better their lives, then it's your duty to do so. And I think that's what we have to hold ourselves accountable to, is we're all on our own paths as human beings. We all make mistakes, we all make things we may be embarrassed about years before, and it's okay. We just laugh about it and we move forward and we grow. And you take heat and you just allow that, and I mean heat like criticism or any sort of negative energy that someone might bring towards you, and you use that to make you stronger and to continue to move forward upon your path, because that is your truth, and whatever your truth is, you must continue to lead forward with that.
So in the end of all of this and this rant and all the negativity and all the positivity and all the love and all the light, it's really important, because we don't ever like to say, I think the two of us don't like to say we know anything absolutely, but maybe this one idea, this one little thing is the one thing that we know absolutely. And that is, whatever your answer is to the question, whatever you have to say, if someone asks you what yoga is to you, no one has the right to take that away from you.